Peace, family. Peace. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Love Alchemist Presents. Tonight, we are going to have us a pretty good show. We got some brothers coming in here, and the topic of discussion is modern dating. We're going to talk a little bit about modern dating and the role that traditional values may or may not still play in that. So, the topic of the show, or the title of the show, is The Rules of Engagement. From the hearts of men. And what we want to know is, what role does modern dating, or what role does traditional values, if at all, play in today's dating scene and even in today's relationship? So before we go any further, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this video, and we're going to give people a little bit more time to come on in. I'm gonna share this out. I'm gonna share this video out. Let me see. While y'all come on in. Let's see. There we go. Hit that like button, share this video, and let me see. Today's show is brought to you in part by the Hard Work book, 31 Days to Mastering Your Relationship. This is a book that is written by myself and my lovely wife. We put our 31 years of marital experience into this book for your relationship fulfillment and enjoyment. So run on over to www.theconditionsoflove.com and pick up your copy today. We've been helping couples all over the world, selling books all over the world, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback. People have really been enjoying it, so don't hesitate to pick yours up. All right, let's see. Like I got one of my guests backstage. I'm waiting on the others, and we're gonna get it started. So without further ado, hold on. Let me share just a little bit more. All right. Share this out. Like I said, family, do me a favor. Hit that like button as you come on in. I see you. Hit that like button or that love button, and share this video. I think we're about to have us a pretty good conversation, and let's see what we can learn. See if we can do a little bit of growing, get some truth exposed. We got my man Yardley from Brunswick, Georgia, always at the bakery. I think that brother bakes more donuts than the law will allow. I think that. What's going on, brother Yardley? How you doing, man? All right, so we have one of our guests, Mr. Kevin. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
Outstanding, sir. How about yourself?
Pretty good. We got a couple others that's supposed to be joining us. I think they're running just a little bit late, trying to give them a little bit of time. But while we wait on them, do me a favor, bro, and introduce yourself. Tell the family a little bit about you, a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, my name is Kevin Allen. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I was in the military for 4 years. I served with Vaughn. After the military, I finished all my schooling. Got a job with the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. I worked there a couple of years, and now I still currently work for the federal government as an investigator.
Yeah, that's all right. So you're making all the money working for Uncle Sam, huh?
Trying to be like my big brother Vaughn.
And me and you, we go way back, man. What year did we meet? Like 2000 and
2003.
2003. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've known each other for quite a while.
Yes, sir.
And you've never been married before, right?
Never been married.
Okay. So give me a little bit about what has changed, if anything, in the dating scene and in your experiences from back then when we first met you, because we're talking about a span of 20 years. So
right
in 2003, and this is 2022. What, if anything, has changed as far as the dating scene goes?
I guess I'm early, almost 18, 19 in the military when I met you. I was dating, but I wasn't really serious. So I was out there getting so many different numbers from different women at the clubs, at the mall. Um, we was just trying to party and just trying to, I guess, have a good time. I guess also at that time, when we was younger, there was many different, good girls out there. But, at that time, I wasn't in the mind frame to settle down or to be a man for a lady. I was just trying to please my friends, trying to live up to what society said a man should be, and I was just living life, what I thought was living life. You fast forward, you start going to school, you start getting experiences, in life, you try to, find that right person. I've been in a couple of relationships between then, but from then to now, I think now that I'm in my 30s, a lot of people are experienced now. A lot of people are seasoned. A lot of people, dealt with different things in their life. So they have different ways of screening out different potentials. Some people are broken. Some people just have this idea what a relationship should be like, with no compromise or no middle ground. So, from then and now, I guess when I was 18 to 19, 20, 21, I didn't really care about the mentality, the characteristics of a woman. If she looked good, I'm going to talk to her. I say anything just to keep the peace. I say anything so I won't sound controversial, so we still can have fun. As you get older, when you're trying to sit down and trying to figure a person out and say, okay, is this the right person I want to be with for the rest of my life? You start looking at the characteristics of the person. Does this person align where I want to be at in life? Does this person want to raise the kids like I want to raise the kids? Does this person believe in the things I believe in that are deal breakers? Can we, make this future, best for, is it selfish or is it for both of us as a team? So as you get older, in my 30s, you start looking at the details. You start looking at the mindset. You start looking at the way the person move and things of that nature. And a lot of times, especially if you have options out there, a lot of times, like, man, there's a lot of broken people out here.
Yeah.
So,
what's
up,
up,
Brother Leonard?
Brother Leonard,
how you doing? Everything going? I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good,
man. Good. I'm glad you could join us, man.
Oh, sorry I'm late.
No worries, no worries. Hey, we were just giving a quick introduction to who Kevin is to the family. Do me a favor, man, and give the family a quick intro of who you are, what you do, and let's go from there.
Okay. My name is Leonard Edwards. I'm an industrial electrician. Live in Dallas. Started out in the military. Now I'm working for a paper mill.
Okay. So now, have you just kind of we all met around the same time back in the early 2000s?
Yep.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So now you were previously married, right?
No. I've been engaged for a while. I hadn't got married yet.
So you're engaged now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But you were married. The question was.
Oh yeah, when I was in the military.
Yeah. So, but in the time that you've been single since that time, and between now, first of all, congratulations on your engagement.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, what has been your experience or your observations in the dating market compared to, and kind of juxtapose that with what Kevin was just sharing as far as his experiences? Do you see a lot of similarities to what he was saying? Or share with us what your experiences have been.
Definitely. Like now, I'm more open. Like as far as my eyes and what I'm looking for. So back in the day, I was young. So as far as me picking up the right type of woman, I was foolish. Now, as far as me picking the right type of woman, I need someone similar on my level. I need someone that can build to what I already have, not just eat off my plate. And then also, if there's kids involved, you got to get along with the kids, because if not, that's not going to work. And then as far as if she have kids, also that child's father, that plays a big part. So whenever you're dating someone, when you're looking for someone, it's a lot of things you got to look for that a lot of people don't, and that's the reason why it's not working out. Like finances, like I say, the kids, communication, trust. It's a lot of stuff you got to look for.
Yeah.
See, back in the day, I wasn't doing that.
First of all, welcome to the show, Brother Herb. How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. I appreciate you. Sorry for my tardiness, man. I apologize for that. But I appreciate you having me on, for real.
How you doing, Brother Herb?
All good, brothers. How y'all feeling?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
Good, man. Pleasure to be on with y'all, man.
Yeah, likewise, man. Good to have you, man. Well, before I run into this next comment, Brother Herb, do me a favor, man, and share with the family a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, no doubt, man. My name is Herb. I'm from Chicago, born and raised on the South Side. Guess I'm a host. I host a podcast called I Say What I Said. I'm also a sports journalist. I work the Chicago Bears beat, so I cover them on a daily basis. Hasn't been fun lately, but other than that, man, I really just try to be a good person to everybody around me in terms of being a brother, a friend, a coworker. As far as relationships go, I was married for, I don't know, 12, 13 years, something like that. Divorced last year, and had the opportunity to actually have Brother Vaughn on my show this past Friday talking relationships, and he was dropping so many jewels. And as we kind of just went back and forth in that conversation, he felt that he, figured we should probably pick it up again and continue this conversation a little bit further. So that's why I'm here. Again, it's an absolute honor and a pleasure to be speaking with you, brothers, and having this conversation, which I think is important, man. I really think that if we go heal a lot of the things that's wrong in our community, it's really going to start with our relationships. And so that's why on my podcast, I Say What I Said, and I see my brother, my co-host Tucson Warner, checking in every Friday. We talk about relationships, and so that's why we wanted to have the Love Alchemist on Friday, because we think that's the critically important in terms of foundational piece for how we can build on top of that as a community. So always a critical, important conversation to have, especially with some good brothers.
Indeed. You just mentioned something that falls right in line with the next question that I wanted to ask. Brother Yardley says social media, internet, movies, rap, and R&B music. He mentioned that being something that has impacted our relationships. So starting with you, Kevin, what's your take as far as how those things have impacted the entire dating scene, and not even just the dating scene, but the way our men and women relate to each other?
I agree with Mr. Bond. Social media, internet, movies, rap, just different music in general, it pretty much taught our community that the good is bad and the bad is good. So, even I have a daughter, when she was pretty much going through school and things of that nature, it's telling a man and a woman how they should look, how they should dress, how they should speak, how they should walk, what type of girls you should interact with, what type of guys they should interact with. When I was 18 and 19 in the military, I was dressed like Nelly. I had do-rag on, my hat to the side, had earrings in my ear, had my fake $10 chain on.
Did you get the little Band-Aid under your eye?
I had a grill in my mouth, had my Air Force Ones on, my clothes was baggy as hell.
Yeah, I got that picture too. I should have put that picture up there.
Doing the clip with Leonard. Come on, man. We up there doing the dances, saying the lingo. The phrases and the R&B songs. You trying to be slick. You talking to a girl on the phone. You repeating the same phrases, and you playing the R. Kelly in the background. You just your mind was focused. Okay, hey, this is what I am. What I'm supposed to be. And my homeboys, Leonard, other homeboys would praise me. If I can get girls, not only that, if I can hook them up with girls. So the whole mission is to you're trying to conquer, trying to get some from different women and set your boys up so everybody can praise you. Yeah. So, I was influenced by internet, especially the music, rap and R&B, and social media. I mean, very influential.
Yeah, yeah. Same to you, Leonard. What you think? You resonate with what Kevin just said, or you got anything to add to that? Oh, you muted, brother. You muted. Let me see if I can. Elwood, your mic is muted, man. Leonard, your mic is muted. I can't hear you.
Oh, my bad. I was okay. I'm back.
Yeah, there you go. No, I think he's gone again.
No, he's there.
Can you hear me?
Hear the question, though.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. What is your question? The same question?
Yeah, the question is how has social media, internet, movies, rap, and R&B music, what kind of impact have you observed that to have on the relating scenarios between our men
Well,
and our women?
as far as social media goes, like a lot of times I've seen a lot of relationships fail because of social media. Like, for instance, one of our partners now, he his wife literally, like, they don't spend quality time together because she's always on social media, always on her phone. So whenever he go to sit down, they try to sit down and watch a movie, she's on her phone, on social media now. So that's one thing I've seen. And as far as like the rappers and all of that go, like Kevin said, a lot of times kids and just people in general mimic what they see. So you see a lot of like Cardi B. You see a lot of women, want to copy her with the fake lashes, getting your butt done, and all of that. In the community, that they think that's sexy. They think that's okay, but it's not. You seldom see uh, a lot of women at that just be themselves. They want to now. Everybody want to be somebody different, and as far as the males go, it's no guidance. Like everybody's, especially with the rappers, a lot of the males want to do, what the rappers doing now, with the fake gold chains, the golds in their mouth, the way they dress, uh, instead of, out here looking for jobs and everything. Everybody out here stealing, and it's bad in Dallas. That's a lot. I see a lot of that now.
Yeah. Let's see. No, wait. Katina just had a comment. She says social media gives false views of what relationships are supposed to be. I see a lot of that, and so many of us, man, we get the pictures, as long as it looks good on social media, the pictures and the smiles, and many times we see couples that are showing their pictures, and it seems like that's the happiest time in their relationship is when they're putting pictures and stuff up on Facebook, but then or social media, but then after that, outside of those happy moments, they're fighting like hell just to even stay together. I had a question for you. I want to pivot a little bit for you, Herb. Brother Yardley said, he had another one. He said, I believe that most men do not have standards for themselves. Therefore, they have no standards for women. What do you think about that, Herb? Address that for me.
Yeah, I think that Brother Yardley is on to something with that piece. I think that that's pretty much true across the spectrum, though. I don't know if it's just men or just women, or even when we talk about the social media impact that all of it has. I think it starts with something internal that you're kind of missing, that would even allow you to look to those external things as what a symbol of a successful relationship looks like. Like you kind of get those feelings of jealousy or insecurity or inferiority looking at these other relationships on social media because you don't feel that secure within your own. And I think that insecurity certainly is true for a lot of men. It's true for a lot of women. I think that, we can blame it on, the social media or music or whatever. But I think the truth is, if we were whole people before that, then you wouldn't be so negatively impacted by those things. You would use those things for what they are. And that's, for entertainment or information or whatever it may be, but not to, as your, kind of North Star to guide your decisions in terms of how you live your life. And so, yeah, I do think that, a lot of men don't have those kind of standards. And so they're just looking at whoever wants them is cool. That'll work out for them. I think that in today's society, it's just so rare to meet, individuals. Everybody's kind of the same, like cookie cutter person. You go like out to the club and you go in the club, you're gonna see the same 4 women. Now it might be 500 women in there, but it's really just the same 4 over and over again, dressed the same, acting the same, and that thing kind of perpetuates itself throughout our society. You see it in the children, you see it in the parents, you see it in everybody. And so yeah, I think the brother is right when he says that men don't have those standards, but I think that's true across the board. Like as a collective, I think we struggle with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Ty Perkins says, as an artist, it's true. We went from Heavy D to Easy E. Hip hop was great in the beginning, and then it was used as a weapon against us. So now, being used as a weapon against us, it was great in the beginning, and then being used as a weapon against us. Man, that's pretty heavy. How in what way do you see it being weaponized? Like I know that it's been detrimental. It has some negative effects. But to you, Kevin, how do we go from it's just entertainment to now it's being a weapon against us? Yeah, am I clear on what I'm asking you? How is it being?
You're clear. I say around about the early '90s.
Yeah.
You kind of seen transition from gangster rap and things of that nature. When Tupac them died, Master P them came out. It came about the bling, hey, we rowdy. 2000s came, it was partying, let's have fun. And I think also, hip hop at that stage was new, and many people didn't know what it will become later on in life. So a lot of these record companies saw that, man, we can make a profit of this. These big companies. So they start making sure that other companies was, putting out of business, or the FBI was investigating other record companies. And once they took over, from the black producers and the record producers, they just put out what they wanted to. I remember watching this one piece on Bill Meyer off of HBO, and he was asking this executive producer at Columbia. He's like, when are you guys going to put out some good music? And he pretty much admitted, he said, because this music today, it sucks. And he said, pretty much what we put out, if we promote it long enough, we put it, they put the spins on the radio stations. Hey, play this artist, play Chris Brown this many times, play this person, these big companies backing them up. They could drown out all the, the small up and coming artists and just put the mainstream people that they want in, these big bag, record producers and companies. So, it's strategic because, these companies, we have talent out there, talented rappers, talented singers, inspirational rappers, but, what they choose to promote is something that is very detrimental to the whole community as a whole. And they really don't care. And they keep doing it.
I think they can only weaponize it though, brother Kevin. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off at all. I think they can only weaponize it because we aspire to the same things that they're aspiring to. Like early on in your response, you was talking about how these record companies saw a financial opportunity. And I think that as artists, as black people, as the group of people who created this culture of hip hop, we kind of saw it the same way. And so when the opportunity came for us to sell something that we created, we did it. And then once you sell it, it's not yours anymore. So we talk about this culture being ours, but it's really not ours. We started it, we created it, but then we sold it off to somebody else. And then they get to repackage it, sell it back to us. And then they get to tell us what's good music. You know what I mean? It's like, how you going to tell me what's good music? We started this thing. But once you sell it off, because you're interested in the same things they're interested in, you're trying to chase the money just like they chasing it, you no longer have control over what comes out. And then that influence starts to spread like wildfire. And I also kind of go back and forth about, what influences one. Like, is the music influencing reality, or is reality, influencing the music? I don't know. It's kind of a chicken or the egg thing for me. I haven't really decided which one I think actually comes first. But I think that if we were able to, have a different value set that was something rooted in something other than money, then we would not sell off our culture so fast, and then they wouldn't be able to weaponize it. Because I do think they have weaponized, and I do think they use it against us in many, many ways. But I think that we have to accept some accountability for why they're able to do that.
So let me bring this back to relationships and the impact that this weaponizing has had on on how our men and women see each other. And I run this one to you, Leonard. How do you think, or I should say, in what ways do you think this weaponized hip hop and just the way that, you know, bitch, hoe, nigga this, nigga that, et cetera, right? In what ways has that impacted the way our men and our women relate to each other? And then tie that into some of the challenges that maybe you've witnessed on the dating scene.
Okay. I think that for one, a lot of times there's no respect in a relationship. So you got a lot of men and a lot of women calling each other calling each other out their names, bitch, hoe, nigga, stuff like that. And that's harsh, especially when you're talking to your wife, your queen, somebody you're supposed to be dating, somebody you're supposed to be, seeing yourself in the future with. You don't want to, disrespect them, or male or female. So I think that, as far as rap goes, the not only just the lyrics, but the way that like you say, the way they people carry it, the way that the artists carry themselves and all of that, it's ever since the 90s, it's done, it's changed. It changed a lot. It's not like back in the day when LL Cool J and all of that, I need love and all of that. It's none of that anymore. Now it's like even with Tupac, wonder why they call you bitch, I bet you. It's that's degrading, especially to a woman, and when you in your household, you gotta have, guidance. You gotta have structure. So, even the kids are very smart. They pick up everything that they see. They pick up everything that they hear. And back in the day, we used to have the Cosby Show. Now now you have hip hop. Love and hip hop, stuff like that. The only thing they doing is fighting. They degrading each other. So how do you expect your household to be, um, a structure now, and when that's all all kids see, and you picking up, even as even adults, they walk around and kids hearing them their parents being disrespectful to each other. That's why now a lot of the household is divided.
Yeah. Now look, I got an interesting question from Desiree Son Kiss Jackson. That's my lovely better half. Or maybe just my other half. I don't know if she's better than me or not. That's to be decided. She said, I would like to know if the gentlemen look at women differently now according to the way they dress compared to when they were younger. Would they rather approach a more conservatively dressed woman or a sexy dressed woman, or does it matter? Well, we can start with you, Kevin. Go ahead.
When I was younger, all that matters is that they look good. Leonard we went to the club and stuff. Who's the baddest one in here? Man, like, I'm going after her. You get her friend. It didn't even matter. But now as a mature adult who who's experienced in life, who knows his culture, who want to break generational curses and things of that nature, I would pick the more conservative lady who's dressed, because how you present yourself, that's the first line of communication, to the world. The nonverbal communication is everything. It's what describes you. When I do investigations, when I just look at a person, their facial expressions, their body language, what they got on, how they moving, tells a big picture, tells a big story. So, how you present yourself to the world, is everything to me. So I pick that conservative lady.
Yeah. Same question to you, Herb. You see it the same way? What's your thoughts?
For me, it's kind of like a two-part thing. Like on the one hand, I do not judge women based off how they dress, right? I don't kind of create this preconceived notion about you because you may be, scantily clad, or maybe you got cleavage out, or maybe you got leg. I don't really do that, because I think that a woman should be able to dress however she wants to and still be allowed the opportunity to show who she is as a person. that being said, I also don't really prefer to meet women, dressed in it, like just dressed up in general. I prefer to meet a woman sweatpants, head tied, chilling with no makeup on type thing. Like that's how I prefer to meet somebody, because from there, like if I meet you and you after you done spent 2-3 hours, hair, makeup, I don't want to meet you at your very, very best. It's downhill from here. I'd rather meet you chilling somewhere, jeans, sweatpants. Like that's how I prefer to meet you. And when we get dressed, then yeah, you can put on you wanna have on a sheer top, or you wanna have on a skirt or whatever. That works for me too. I'm not gonna be like, oh, she's a hoe, she's a this, she's a that. I don't do that. So I think it's a both and for me. My preference would be to meet somebody who's not even dressed up at all. But in terms of would I see a woman who is dressed a little bit revealing and be like, nah, I'm absolutely canceling her out, I wouldn't do that either.
Okay. Leonard, Sam, what do you think about that?
For me, I like a conservative look. Like Kevin said back in the day, I would have went with the sexy. Now, as I got older, give me the conservative look. I need someone that I can take home, to my mother and my kids and be proud about it. I don't want to, and everybody was like, man, what do she got on? Look at her. Oh, she looks slutty. Nah, I can't, I don't need that.
Wow. Plus you got daughters too. That's
time and place is everything.
Exactly. You don't want.
No, I'm saying like I have a daughter. You know what I'm saying? So my daughter's whoever I pick as a woman or a spouse or anything, I want her to be a great influence and a great role model. Also, like me and Leonard, like we said, when we was 18, 19 in high school, I was playing football. I didn't care, you sexy, what's up? That's all that matters. But now. I'm not judging nobody. If you dress like that, that's on you. Everybody have their preference. Everybody have their type. But, when it's all said and done, I've dealt with so many women from my experience, if you have your breast all out and everything else and you have a little skirt on with your ass showing and your crouch area is about to show with no panties on, that's you doing the most. I dealt with a lot of women like that. And, I don't need them today. I don't thirst for them because I had them before, and I want better now. So, just like if I was walking around with earrings and dressing like Nelly right now, I'm pretty sure a respectable woman like, nah, I'm good with that. He seems a little bit childish and immature. A respectable woman, but to each their own.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because they used to say that the game don't change, the players change, but the game remains the same, right? And so in that context, it used to be a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. But now I'm not so sure that, well, let me just put the question to y'all. Do men today still, because I've been out of the game for a while, right? I'm 31 years into my own marriage and I haven't had to look for a woman in a long time. So the question that I'm asking is, do men in general do you find that men in general still want to get married? And secondly, to parallel that question, do you think that do you find that women want to be married more than men do, or are men, in your estimation, the ones that are more looking toward marriage? Herb, you kick that one off for me.
Well, I think that society has kind of shifted and kind of dictated where that trend is kind of going. And I think for women, you got a lot of women now who just don't view it as a necessity. Don't view it as even not even a necessity, but you view it as desirable, right? I think that certainly you still have some women who kind of view it that way and want to get married and look forward to the perfect day and the perfect dress. But I think that's, society has kind of dictated, I don't really need no man. I can do this on my own. I'd probably rather do it without him. And I think that as we see that trend kind of grow through society, then you get less and less women who, value that sanctity of a marriage. And I think you see that play out with women while they're single, but I also think you see that play out with women while they're married. And just because they don't view that institution in that way anymore. So they don't approach it with the same level of respect or same level of value or dignity. And so I would think that now women are probably, if I had to say, probably less they desire marriage less than anybody. I think most men, and I mean like good brothers who, you know, got their shit together, understand who they are, understand what they're trying to do, they would like a life partner to build with. They would like someone to make a home with. But I don't know that, you know, the sisters see it the same. There's a lot of factors in that, a lot of societal things that keep brothers from being this kind of picture perfect image of what a partner should look like, right? In terms of these societal, superficial, surface level things. And so I think that women kind of see that and they're like, nah, we can out earn them nowadays. We are more educated scholastically than them nowadays. We don't need to, you know what I mean? Nah, I'm good. So I think that these kind of societal trends have kind of shifted, you know, where that idea of marriage in terms of how desirable it is going.
Yeah. What you agree with that, Leonard? What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely agree with it. I think that now women they so, how to put it, women so caught up in, you know, trying to do this and do that they not really, you don't really see a lot of them want to get married now. Like I have a lot of female friends that I grew up with, and we talk about it all the time. Like they always say that, you know, man, I don't need a man. You know, I don't need a man. I have my stuff together. I have my shit together. I don't need a man, you know, for nothing. I can do on my own. But in actuality, you really do. You know, it's a lot of things that, you know, a man can guide you, a man can give you. And like like they always call me for advice. Well, if you had a man, you wouldn't be calling me for advice. You know, so.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Kevin? What do you think?
I agree with the brothers, and I just want to piggyback. You know, when we was like in our teens and 20s, I just want to be fair that, you know, I believe during that time frame, women was more optimistic about marriage and, you know, having that title and image and possible lifestyle in the future. But, you know, me, my homeboys and things of that nature, you know, we probably broken a lot of people, broken a lot of women. And, you know, they dealt with that, you know, they probably was mad and angry and you still sweet talking them. And man, it just, a lot of women probably had that in their heart, but there's a lot of guys out there like myself. When I was in 18, 19, 20, 21, I didn't care. You know, I pretended, and, you know, they got played and things of that nature. And by the time, you know, they turn about 28, 29, 30, you know, rightfully so, they're skeptical. So they get their guards up in a lot of different areas that now that I'm ready, like, okay, I'm mature, I'm wise now. I'm looking for a wholesome woman. She get her defenses up. And, you know, because the things she went through and she probably still hurt from her past, you know, it's a lot of things you got to deal with where, you know, me, you know, I wasn't really affected. You know, I got my career, get everything else. Now I'm ready now. And, you know, a lot of times I try to be patient, you know, with the ladies now, because they may say, you know, I'm not looking for anything right now. But in reality, if they do find a good guy, somebody who they feel that is open to them, somebody's understanding of them, they will pressure him to, you know, make something of it. Because I think everybody wants somebody. But a lot of times, you know, subconsciously they feel broken and they feel they don't deserve anybody. Because I heard men and women say that. You know, they're like, I don't want no woman. I don't want no man. So it all depends on the circumstances of the individual and the experiences they had in life, and, you know, where they at right now. And there's a lot of broken people out there, men and women. You know, some men, you know, broken. They talking to all kind of different women right now. There's men out there that didn't have women like me and Leonard did in like high school and college and things of that nature, and they become professionals. Now they can lift a little weights now. They look a little bit better. They got money. Now, you know, they try to make up for lost times. And the girls, you know, these ladies trying to pick the right guys. Oh, he's a professional. You know, he's in the cigar lounge with their little hat on with their little red brim under it. I mean, he's trying to make up for lost times. You know, he's like,
hey, Kevin,
I never experienced this before. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this though, Kevin. Ain't that bullshit in and of itself? Like that whole thing, right? You've been the same person your whole life. You've been the same, like, characteristics, same your whole life. But then at some point you get you get into a career that you making a little bit more money, or whatever it is, these external factors. Now all of a sudden you are more attractive to these same women who ain't paid you no attention for 25 years, 30 years, and now all of a sudden you think like, oh, they really like me, bro. She don't really like you. Like, she knew you 10 years ago. She don't really like you. She like that you got this new career, you in this new career field. Now you making this kind of money, or you got this kind of car now, or this kind, like, that ain't about you. And as soon as she get used to that, you know what I mean?
I think,
she like what you become.
Right. When I was in middle school and high school, I think subconsciously the way that, men and women are made different. I think women, they always have a sense of who's that protector, who's that provider. So when I was in high school, I could fight real good, I could play sports real good, so I might they were gravitated towards that because they felt, that they didn't know about relationships themselves. They probably had fathers to tell them about this is the right man. They just going by imagery of this is the type of man that I should talk to. Someone who looks like Nelly, who talks like him, somebody who could dance real good in the club. And right, Leonard? We was dancing real good, getting the girls.
Yeah.
So they just going by
we
what they
on the
think
dance
is a good guy. So when they get mature, like earlier I said, when I was 18, 19, she's sexy. Oh, what's up? When she get mature, like, dang, I picked the wrong damn guys. Damn, this dude was an idiot. I met a lot of professional women who's dentists, who's doctors, attorneys. I'm like, hey, I got one kid. Who's your baby daddy? Oh, he in prison. Oh, who's your baby daddy? He work at Walmart. I'm like, damn, where you meet these guys at? But now they mature now. They get good careers. They get their lives together. Now they want to say, okay, I want something real now. Right or wrong, a lot of people mature and they want better for their lives.
So women's mistakes tend to be a little bit more costly when they especially if they have a child with the wrong person. That type of thing can anchor them to, because when we see them, like you said, she might be a dentist or a doctor or whatever, but if she had a baby with a guy who's in prison or maybe still works at Walmart, the next guy that comes along is evaluating her based on who her child's father is, oftentimes, and in many regards less likely to take her serious. Do you find that to be true or what?
Possibly. I think that it depends on the character of the person, because a woman can have a child and she has an impeccable character, mindset about herself and the way she carries herself, she's still going to be very appealing. But if she carry her experiences, to the table, like, hey, I make $168,000 a year, and I got a kid, I got $100,000 in student loans, and I think a man should pay all my bills. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I think that trajectory.
Go ahead, sir.
That trajectory kind of takes on this natural slide that is unhealthy for both parties, right? So if you start off at a young age where dudes are like, hey, I only care about how she looks, right? How she look is all that matters, the type of person she is, I don't give a fuck how she look. And the sister is the same, but just about like what he has, right? And so we evaluating that each other at that level now. And so at 20, she fine as hell. She still got a 20-year-old body, she fine. As she grows 30, 40, 50, 60, you know what I mean? Naturally, physically, she's going to become less attractive in terms of that standard of what attractiveness looks like in terms of society, right? But for a guy, right, if it's only about, my place in life, my footing in life, then it's only going to get better for me. I expect to have more at 30 than I had at 20, more at 40 than I had at 30, more at 50, more at 60. And so as I become more desirable, based on that metric, she's becoming less desirable. And now we have a problem. And so I'm saying, like, the whole system is flawed in of itself. And so now you get to a space where I'm in my mid-30s, right? I don't have children, right? My shit is together, whatever. If I was only going off this type of, like, this super surface level, superficial stuff, it would be very hard for me to find, people that I would find desirable, right? Who doesn't have children, who still has a body that's all snatched. Because I got children, titties fall a little bit, stomach look a little different, this and that. You know what I mean? All of these things are real. And if that's what you're looking at only, then the whole thing is flawed. Ultimately, brothers become more desirable and sisters become less desirable. So I think the whole system is flawed. And I think that if sisters kind of view it that way in terms of who can do the most for me, then you have to, if you're going to play the game that way, and I think that's a very stupid way to play the game. But if you're going to play that game, men or women, understand how that looks over the long term.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. We had a question from Garen Black. He said, are most modern women hypergamous minded? If so, should marriage-minded men attempt to gauge a woman for marriage or focus on himself? Your thoughts, Leonard. You start.
Hey, Vaughn, I'm at work now. I'm gonna have to go.
Okay.
But hit me up again. We'll finish it up.
No worries, brother. Be well, man.
All
All
right.
right, brother.
Peace, King.
All right, brothers. And then there was 3. Same question. I guess I don't remember which one of y'all talked last. Go ahead, Kevin. You can answer that. Are most modern women hypergamous minded? And if so, should marriage-minded men attempt to gauge a woman for marriage or focus on himself?
First and foremost, before you approach anybody, like your show said, rules of engagement. You should focus on yourself. For the most part, you got to self-reflect. You got to look at the man or woman in the mirror. You pretty much have to do a SWOT analysis of yourself. Many people don't know what that is. That's business terms: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Yeah,
you got to learn how to love yourself and learn how to accept yourself. And many people, even including Vaughn, they say I look like TD Jakes. So I'm not gonna cry about it, like that. But maybe I need to raise my personality up in this area. Maybe I might need to lose a couple of pounds here and there. Maybe I'm an asshole, and maybe I need to change the way I communicate with people and women in general and things of that nature. So before I even approach a woman or a woman approach a man, I think self-reflection and self-evaluation is very important. And once you love yourself and accept yourself, it's easy for you to go out there and show that love to another partner. But a lot of people are still broken. They don't love themselves. They don't get self-constructive criticism, and they expect something out of nothing. They expect the title. They expect the image. And everybody's feeling entitled, like this belongs to me, without working with themselves. So work on yourself first before you go out there.
Same question to you, Herb. What do you think? Are women naturally
couldn't agree more?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I couldn't agree more. You got to work on yourself first. I think that I love that Brother Kevin used the business analogy in terms of a SWOT analysis, because I think that there's an interesting dynamic there. I think that you kind of gotta, but I think it's actually kind of opposite, right? I think that when we, and not his example per se, because I think the SWOT analysis of yourself is great, but just in terms of how we view business, right? We kind of start with the end goal in mind, right? When I start my business, I kind of start with this end goal in mind of where I want it to go, and then I build towards that. I think that I don't know that it's really possible in reality to do that in terms of a relationship. I think that you have to just kind of start that thing and then be who you are. Come in as a whole person, be authentic, see if your authentic self properly aligns with their authentic self. And if both of you are being authentic and then that works, then one day you'll just kind of wake up and be like, yo, this is going really well. I could spend the rest of my life with this person. I could see myself doing this every single day forever. And I think it kind of happens organically in that way. But I think if you kind of put the cart before the horse and say, oh, I'm starting this thing. I'm date one trying to find out if this person is marriage material. How the fuck is that going to work? You know what I mean? How am I going to show up on day one and determine whether or not I could spend the rest of my life with her? I just want to know if we can have a good time at dinner today. Can we enjoy a night out tonight? Do we have good conversation the next day? How's the planning process of getting together date 2, date 3? Okay, cool. Now I bring you around my people. How do you receive my people? How do they receive you? Vice versa. And then it just kind of becomes this organic thing. But I think that sometimes we start with this end game in mind is, oh, is he marriage material? You met him at 19. Hell no, he ain't marriage material. You know what I mean? But he might be, you know what I mean? If you allow that thing to grow organically. But I think that oftentimes we come into this thing with the end game in mind. I think it kind of dooms from the start in many ways. So yeah, start with yourself first. Come in that thing as a complete, whole, best version of yourself. Hopefully they'll do the same, and then see if that thing kind of organically aligns. And if not, you'll know. And if so, you also know.
Okay, I want to switch gears a little bit, and because this is we've been pretty surface a little bit, but my next question though, we all want the good girl, right? I mean, we want a good girl, but maybe a little bad girl edge to it, but
Where?
ultimately, huh? that's the question. Does the virtuous woman still exist? Does the virtuous woman,
based on what virtues?
well, a lot of people like to use the Proverbs 31 woman. I just mean that when I say virtuous woman, let's just say the classic good girl, by whatever that means to you. You know what I mean? Just, the type of girl who, you can trust her with your money. You don't think she's running around on you. She's not looking to, cheat or steal from you.
Of course, they're out there.
Get over.
Of course. And sometimes just because a lady's not for you, it doesn't mean that she's a perfect woman for another person. Like for instance, I might have you remember earlier I said I want a conservative lady, and Mr. Herb said, he doesn't matter, as long as she know how to switch off and on, and she might be right for him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I cannot down that lady for my preference or standards are, because the way she carries herself, the way she is as a lady might be perfect for the next man. So you got to find the one that matches for you. So of course there's great women out there. Of course there's trustworthy women. Of course there's women that you can, build with. There's a lot of great women out there. I just want to say that, but I agree. What you got to say, Eric?
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely think that there are virtuous women out there who want to, build a life with you and make a home with you, and will be there to support you and be strong where you're weak, and kind of be, sufficient where you kind of deficient. I think that's that balance that we're all looking for. And I think those women certainly exist, and you can trust them with your life. You can trust them with your deepest secrets. You can trust them with your finances. You can come home and be vulnerable to them about the things that you struggle with throughout the day. They certainly exist. But I think that the issue, again, becomes how we enter this thing. And if you enter this thing at this very superficial level, and then all of a sudden you want her to be deeper than that, bro, you missed the mark. You know what I mean? Like, all you wanted was her to be fine. And she was fine. You know what I mean? She looked good. You don't get to come in 2, 5, 10 years later and be like, oh, I also want her to be spiritual. I also want her to be caring. I also want her to be the supportive. I also want her to be a sense of humor. She ain't never had no sense of humor. She can know how to dress. You know what I mean? And that worked for you for a while. But now you want something more, and you think that's coming from her. That's not coming from her. That's coming from that girl that you wouldn't look twice at 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So I think it matters how you come into it. But I definitely think that those women exist. Now, if you can find that total package of a woman who, makes you look at like, damn, she's fine, and she also speaks to you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, then that's the sweet spot that you're looking for. I think they exist for sure.
And that's the challenge too, man. I think you just made a great point, Herb. I think oftentimes we, I don't know, society has kind of conditioned us to overlook maybe the more average looking women in favor of the 9s and the 10s. And those 9s and 10s, oftentimes, not all, of course, but a lot of times they show up much more superficial and lacking those qualities that you just described. But they so fine a lot of times that we like, we like shiny things, right? So we go for the attractive thing, and then before you know it, we're trying to make something out of trying to make something with somebody that we really don't even like anymore.
That's real.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of virtuous women and connections and all of that stuff, if you met a woman and things went well, dinner was great, first date, all that, y'all hit it off real good, and then you had sex on the first night, would you look at her different? Is she now disqualified from being somebody that you might take more seriously, or like what does that put her in a different category because she because y'all smashed on the first night? Not all y'all.
Brother Kevin, you take that first, because I already know I'm going. Y'all know I'm going with it.
All my experiences from grade school till now, if she let me hit the first night, I won't respect her no more.
Mm.
I won't respect her no more. Because my mindset is like this, you know, I don't think I'm special. I don't think I'm unique. You know, there's all kind of unique guys out there. There's all kind of charming guys out there. If it happens, I'm just thinking back in my mind, how many times this happened before? Who else you did this to? I won't even trust you, because you know, based off what you want to do, your emotions or anything, I'm thinking you could do it again. So you know, just for me, you know, and she did that the first night. I'm like, hell no. I won't tell her that though. I'll smile like you smile right now.
Still hit.
He's not consistent. Why you not text? I text you 5 hours ago.
Go ahead, Harry.
You know, I won't take her too seriously.
Yeah.
I definitely understand what Kevin's coming from, and I don't necessarily disagree with any of his points. But for me, I'm on the other end. Like if we linked up and we had that kind of chemistry and everything was going well that night, why not? You know what I mean? What is this arbitrary amount of time that we need to wait to say, okay, now sex is okay, 90 days or 60 days or whenever? Like, what does that mean? What does that matter? I think that if the chemistry is right and that happens, then fine. Now it's up to me to decipher, and I'm able to. I've had enough experiences to know. I've certainly had one night stands where I don't remember them. If I was to make a list, I couldn't even recall, couldn't mention her name, right? But I think that I'm able to know the difference between, yeah, that was just, you know, some sex for the night versus, oh no, we really had some good chemistry and it just kind of went there. But I want to see her tomorrow. I want to go to breakfast with her tomorrow. I want to find out what she's doing tomorrow, and I want to see her again. Versus
how many women
as
did
soon
you
as
have
I
one night
came, I'm
stand
like,
with that you stayed with?
Stay with.
No, it sounds good. How many women
that
you slept with the first night that you was like, okay, this is my girlfriend now?
I think that first of all, I've only had like 2 girlfriends in my life. So I think that's true of most men. I think most men are only going to have, you know, 2 to 4 women in their whole entire life that they really, really love and care about on that level in terms of building a long-term relationship. And so I think that question is kind of hard. I did not have sex with any of those women on the first night. I will give you that. But what I'm saying is, philosophically, it's not a disqualifier for me. I think it's on an individual basis. Like, what was it? Was it just a hit and run thing? And I'll be able to determine that night. I know right then. Like, I know on the way to where we going to actually have sex. Like, this ain't shit. I'm just going to hit just because. I don't even know why I'm going to do it for real. Versus, oh, this is just a great night that I don't want to end. And then ultimately we end up having sex. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but I'm not going. It depends. It's an individually based thing. That's why I say I don't disagree with any of the points you made, because I can see how that would invalidate them in your mind or even in my mind going forward. But I think that I leave room for the possibility of that not being a complete disqualifier. That could still be the woman I end up spending the rest of my life with.
Yeah. So now my man Ty said the question is, would you hit it on the first night?
Oh, Kevin going. He hit. He just ain't calling them no more.
Right, so let me ask y'all brothers this, man. How do you feel about women approaching you? Like, I know, so I got this question. I think somebody asked me this question when I was on your show, Herb. How do you feel if a woman?
Yeah, I remember,
yeah, typically, you know, we're the ones that we're the aggressors, right? But what if a woman approaches you like, hey, you know, I saw you from across the room. I like what I saw. And I just wanted to know if I could have a moment of your time. Let me, you know, she started kicking it to you, like, however she did it in her soft feminine way. But the point is, she was the aggressor. How would you feel? Is that a turn off for you? Is that a green light for you? What do you think about that?
I appreciate the confidence. I see a woman who knows what she wants. I see a woman who is, but also I like to kind of read behind some of the actions that I see. And so if I see a woman who's willing to do that, what it also infers to me about her is that this is a woman who is not inhibited or restricted by societal norms, right? Societal norms don't dictate her behavior. And because most people are like, no, girl, you shouldn't, don't you never go approach no man. And she's like, no, that's goofy shit. I see a man I like, that I'm interested in. I want to go introduce myself and see if there's something there. And so, number one, I view her as a person who is not bound by the confines of society. She's not a conformist in that way. I appreciate that. Next thing I see is a woman who is very confident in herself, who knows what she wants, and I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm definitely down to have a conversation. If she's like, hey, you know, I sent you a drink from across the bar. I come up, hey, I saw you over there. I just wanted to introduce myself. How you doing? Maybe just give you a card. Have a good night. Walk away. Yeah, I'm definitely going to reach out to her because I appreciate that. I don't have any problem with that at all.
Yeah. My man Ty said, just make sure it's not a dude and that you ain't had too many drinks. Same question to you, Kevin.
It is 2022.
I don't see a problem, like Brother Herb said. I don't see a problem with that, but I wouldn't recommend that to my daughter. I say that because, you know, for me, you know, I could decipher through it, you know, my character, but, you know, a lot of, you know, from middle school and high school, the girls that was the easiest, the ones that, you know, that really, really like you. You know, your friend, your homeboy told you, hey, this girl like you, or this, you know, hey, what's up with this? So pretty much I could tell that lady anything, you know, just, you know, you don't know, you know, just for a lady, you don't know if that guy, you know, just gonna use that against you. So, you know, for me, you know, I wouldn't mind, you know, that's cool. But if I was giving advice to a young lady, you know, like my daughter or somebody, I said, you know, if you go that route, you know, a lot of men will take advantage of you because of that, because you know, you're showing that you very, very, very interested. You know, it's got to be more than a like and an interest, you know, than a person. You got to look at your characteristics and more things of that nature. So if you're just going by a like, you know, like you said, like Herb said earlier, the guys can always play the right role. I can tell you what you want to hear. I can be so cool. I can be down to earth. I can make you laugh. You know, I get jokes for days, so I can make you laugh, and you know, I can make you have a good time. You know, it's easy to convince a girl, you know, to do anything that really has interest in you. So, you know, a lady has to watch out. If I overplayed my hand, you know, hey, we take advantage of it. You know, this, you know, you got to protect yourself at all costs. But for me, you know, I don't see no problem with that.
So now, I mean, this is the modern dating scene, right? And a lot of women these days make as much as a lot of men, and in some cases even more. So, do you feel obligated to still pay when you go on a date? How does that work now? I mean, is it equal? Like she can pay, you pay, both you're going Dutch. Like how do you see that first date playing out? Who pays and how much you willing to spend on the first date? What does that look like? I throw that to you.
Who planned it? Who planned it? I think it's a real simple thing for me. Like, who planned it? You know what I mean? Okay. If I ask you out, you don't need to bring nothing. If you ask me out, I'm still gonna bring all my stuff, all my money and whatnot. But if you like, I got it, cool. I think that's a really, really cool gesture. Also, like if we out, you know what I mean? If we out and I done took you somewhere and we hanging out and I didn't buy all the drinks and then next thing I look up, you're like, hey, you want another drink? And you buying it. That's cool too. Just small little gestures like that go a long way. But I don't have a maximum that I would spend on the first. Like, oh, I ain't gonna spend more than this on the first date. Just depend on the vibe that I'm getting and what I want to experience with you. If I planned it, yeah, then I completely expect to pay for every aspect of it, from picking you up to, you know, the valet, the food, the drinks, the whatever we do after. I expect to cover every expense of the evening because I planned it. If you planned it, I think you should at least be open to the possibility that you are covering that expense. I ain't asked you to go out. You asked me to go out. You know what I mean? Now, I'll still be prepared to cover it just because as a man, you should be. But I'll be like, she asked me to go out. She took me to such and such restaurant, such and such show, such and such this. And I pay for all that shit. Like, red flag. I don't like it. Like, don't ask me out if you want me to pay for everything that we did tonight. You know what I mean? Now, I might do it on my own. You might reach for your purse or your card, and I'll be like, I got it. But yeah, who planned it is the question for me.
Yeah. What say you, Kevin?
Depends on the woman. So before we even go on a date, you know, I talked to so many women in my life. You know, I had women that bragged about, oh, this guy did this for me, did this, did that, and I probably take her to get coffee. And he wined and dined her for a week, and we just coffee. I'm making her laugh. Took a walk at the park, and I get the same results as this guy who I guess trying to prove a point. So it depends on the lady. I might take her for drinks, but a lot of times, if I'm trying to get to know somebody, I want to sit down across from you and kind of talk to you and see where your mind at. But a lot of the screening is over the phone. But if I'm going to meet up with you, depending on my goal, it depends. It depends. I don't, for me, I'll pay for it. But if a lady, if she say, for example, to piggyback up herb, she said, I like seafood and I plan a date. I said, okay, this is the best seafood restaurant in Houston. I mean, they have the best crawfish in Houston. And she's like, nah, I don't like that. I said, what? I said, this is rated the best. Look at the ratings. No, I want to go to 80 V's. 80 V's? So let me look that up. $130 a person. I'm like, do you eat this regularly yourself? No, I heard it was good. They're like, hold up now. I said, first off, I really don't know you like that. I don't want to, there's a place like this is for people probably having anniversaries or a special event. I said, I'm not taking you to no damn 80 V's. So it depends on I will stop it at there. If somebody was like trying to tell me to do certain things that I know doesn't align what I align with, I would tell them no. But, a lot of times, I will pay for it. But the initial date, it's going to be something chilled and sit down where, even though I can spend it, I'm not going to make it about that because all my life, I didn't have to do that. Those other guys that was spending all kind of money, I didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't telling me where we're going, man. You ain't telling me where we're going. If I plan the date, you're not telling me where we're going. Now, I'm going to ask you what type of things you like to do beforehand. If I find out what you like to do, what kind of food you like, what kind of shows you like plays, you like concerts. Once I pick that play, that concert, that show, that restaurant, you're not going to become super seat. No, I don't want to go out. Then we ain't, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you're not going to.
Exactly.
No.
For first dates, I keep it simple for the most part.
So my man, wait, hold on. I got two things right here. Yardley said, "Don't take her out on an expensive date unless she proves that she's worth your time and attention." And then 2 said, "Black, let's be honest. Do Black people really date? I mean, couples, yeah, but otherwise, I'm not sure. Do Black people date?"
Yes, they do.
Let's say it depends on the person. A lady might expect this guy to do all this other stuff for her, take her on dates or dinners. This one lady I just talked to, she's like, oh yeah, this guy took me to this restaurant, did this, did that, did that. I ain't even half of that, or 1% of it. So it depends. There is, it's different. Everybody going for the same results, but depending who you are, you might have to take different avenues for that result. This other guy, probably have a nice conversation and, make her laugh and feel cool and comfortable. She might say, hey, you want to come over or something like that. Another guy, he might be taking her out, giving her drinks and, popping firecrackers and everything and just trying to impress her. But it depends on the person. A lot of people don't have to go on dates or lavish dates. Hey, you want to meet at the park? Yeah, meet at the park. Walk. This is a date. This is a date. Other guys might do so much other things trying to prove it.
So you on this date, right? Since we agreed that Black people do date. You out on the date and you maybe 15, 20 minutes into the date and it's whack, right? I mean, it ain't going nowhere. You don't like her. You're not even sure if she like you, but you really don't like her and you really don't want much more to do with her. How do you handle that? Are you cordial through the end of the date? Do you call it an early night and abandon the date? Like, hey, this ain't really going. Like, how do you handle that if you enter the date a few minutes and you realize that this just ain't the scenario you want to be in? How do you play that?
Yes, my answer is yes. I handle it cordially through the end of the day, and I call it an early date. The date over right now, my sweetheart.
Yeah.
This because it's not personal. It's not. I'm not even making a judgment or indicting you as a person. It's not about you, right? Our energies are not in sync, and it's not to say that yours is wrong or mine is wrong. They're just not in sync. So I'm not judging you and saying, "Oh, is something wrong with her?" or something wrong with me. I don't think either is true. The person that you are, the energy that you exude, simply does not align with the person that I am and the energy that I exude. If I feel this energy not connecting, I know you feel it. Just like you feel it when it is, You feel it when it's not. So, sweetheart, I tell you what, let's take this food to go. Let's grab a drink. I'll take you home, or call you a car, whatever it is. It was nice meeting you. You be well. No hard feelings or nothing. Our energies just didn't align. It's not personal. I don't think you're a bad person. We not in sync like that. That's all. Ain't no point in spending 3-4 hours trying to digest this foolishness. No, neither one of us is having a good time. Go somewhere and have a good time, sweetheart, because I am.
Yeah. What you think, Kevin? Same thing with you?
For me, all the screening is going to be over the phone. So, this me being on the phone with somebody for like 30, 40 minutes, I can tell what the vibe is pretty much. And if the vibe is off, I'm not going to force anything and think things are going to be different on a date. If your vibe is off, it's more options than you out there. So I'm not going to force anything, my time and energy on a person that, probably 90% of my screening is over the phone before you go on a date. So if you kind of dry, you kind of standoffish, and, you get a little attitude kind of, hell no, I'm not going to take you anywhere.
Now, to that point, sometimes dates don't go very well, or maybe sometimes the date does go well, and then maybe the relationship starts to kind of have some challenges, right? Do you find that women in general have a hard time with criticism, like even constructive criticism? When you offer constructive criticism, is it well received? Like, what are your thoughts? What's been your experience? Herb, you go first.
I think that it is hard for sometimes it's hard for a lot of women to receive constructive criticism because, and I really blame brothers for this. We lie so much, man. We bullshit so much, and when we trying to get with them or we trying to do this and do that, we tell them everything is perfect. So she's not used to even hearing somebody say, "Nah, sweetie, I don't like that you did that. I don't like that you moved that way. I don't like that you said this." You know what I mean? And she doesn't really know how to receive that other than to say you are, disrespecting her or demeaning her or judging her in some ways. Like, nah, we cool. We can move past this moment. I just have to communicate that particular thing right there, I don't really rock with that. Whereas some brother who was just trying to get in her pants, she can't do no wrong. Everything she say, everything she do, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. And I think that brothers are largely responsible for the fact that a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women have a hard time receiving and properly decoding constructive criticism in that way because they just used to dudes blowing smoke up their ass because they just trying to get in their pants. Do I want to get in your pants? Absolutely. But I also want to be able to enjoy you as a person. And so if something is off, I'm gonna be like, nah, sweetheart, like that. I'm not really rocking with that there. And oftentimes that is not very well received.
What do you think, Kevin?
I agree with Mr. Howard, but I just want to piggyback off of that. You said, can women take constructive criticism? I think it's kind of a little bit deeper than that. I think that, a lot of our women have a group of fathers, so they don't know how to interact with men. So sometimes like when I get custody of my daughter when she's like 10 years old, some of the things I'm saying to her, I'm saying it out of love and, out of concern, but she wasn't used to that. So she took it harshly, like, hey, this is, what are you saying? And, they start getting emotional, like, oh, this. So I think, but the women that I dated that had fathers, they used to a man kind of communicating and sternly, or they believe in something, we talking with authority and things of that nature. So, a lot of times it's connection, sometimes just knowing how both parties operate, how the man think and move and things of that nature, and what gets them going. So, like from my experience, just relationships, sometimes, you got to say things a certain way. You got to tiptoe certain areas because they will take offense real quick if they feel that you against them, anything like that, or if they feel that they will think that you trying to belittle them or that you think you know it all. You gotta kind of stay clear because in modern dating, they'll take issue with that. So you gotta understand that they haven't really been around those men to kind of go back and forth to understand that it's nothing personal. That's how we communicate.
I can give y'all a perfect example from today, just earlier this afternoon. Right, I was on the phone with the sister I'm dating, and she was going to the bank to make some deposits for the place that she works. Right, and anyway, while she's doing that, she's sitting in this drive-through ATM, and she's distracted. She's looking down, looking around, and she's there. No exaggeration. She's sitting in the drive-through ATM for 15 minutes, right? And she's doing different accounts and different cards, and she's putting checks and cash and all this. And I'm like, yo, you need go inside the bank, get out of don't sit in the drive-through ATM like that. I know exactly what bank she was at. I know exactly what corner she was at. I know the neighborhood very, very well. I'm like, that's not a place that you need to be sitting in a drive-through ATM for 15 minutes. You need to move. And she's like, oh, it's fine. I got a lot of things to do, and I don't really like to go in the bank. It take a lot of time. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to tell you, because of a safety issue, you cannot sit here and do that long. You cannot sit right there and do that for that long. It's not safe. And even if everything goes well today, if this is a habit of yours, right, you need to get out of that habit. And to her credit, eventually she understood. She's like, I hear you. Thanks. I won't do it no more. But initially there was certainly this pushback, no, it's fine. I do this all the time. I think that women just they aren't used to, some women just aren't used to men kind of being in that space. Nah, you cannot do that. Do not do that. It's not a good idea. And they don't really receive it well, even if it's in your best interest. I'm not telling you something because it don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? It's not about me. Because I care about you, I don't want you putting yourself in harm's way like that in terms of sitting in the drive-through ATM for 15 minutes in a neighborhood where I know that there are starving people who will do anything to eat. You know what I mean? So those types of things play out often.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with both of y'all. I got one last question. I'm gonna wrap it up because I know y'all got to get on, and y'all been with me for longer than I even anticipated, and I appreciate y'all. So my wife has one last question for y'all. She wants to know, do you date for fun, or are you dating because you're actually looking for a wife? First question. I guess I'll throw that to you first, Kevin.
Currently at this stage with maturity, dating to look for a wife. I lost all my hair already, so I'm ready to settle down. I put that comb through relaxer in my hair when I was 18, 19. Now it's all gone now. No, but at this stage, man, with experiences and just I have my, I live life. I seen it all, and I remember when I was like 20, 26. I'm in the club. I'm like, what the hell I'm trying to prove? It's just a routine. I go to the clubs, get about 6 numbers, try to keep contact all these 13 women, take this woman out, go here, get here, 4 drop you for being not consistent. So you go back and get some more numbers. I'm like, damn, this shit tiring after a while. And I realized I was just doing that trying to impress my homeboys. They was settling down, getting married and everything else. So, now that I'm very mature, aware, especially of the community, that I come from, and I'm trying to, leave a legacy, be at peace. You don't want nobody, you in a dead sleep and somebody slapping your face like, who's this girl on your phone? You want to be at peace. You don't want to be playing games. You just want something real. You want something that, that's lasting, and somebody you can call your partner in crime. You can take vacations with. You can laugh. Somebody got your back, and you just want to be chilled. So at this stage, it's looking for a wife. That's why, you get the pencil out. You're trying to ensure that you're picking the right one now compared to when you was younger. Oh, she's fine. And once you try to get your pencil out, trying to make sure she aligns with what you believe in and what direction you want in your life, it makes it harder. It's a lot of quality, but not quantity out there. Yeah. So.
All right, Herb, same question.
For me, I'm just looking for energy. I'm definitely not going into any of these situations like I'm looking for my wife. I'm just looking for energy. Like, is this good energy? Does this energy align with mine? Does this feel good to my spirit? I'm well beyond the point in my life where I'm just looking for sex, like for sex sake. I'm well beyond that. If first of all, if I don't think the sex is gonna be phenomenal, I don't even want it. You know what I mean? And I think that I can only know that it's going to be phenomenal based off our chemistry, based off the energy that we give off to each other. And so well beyond that part, but I'm also just, you know, I'm looking for energy. It's about an energy thing for me. It's just about a connection. Does the energy feel good? And if it does feel good, then I want to explore that to the fullest extent. I want to be able to explore that to the fullest extent. I want to be authentically me. I want to be honest and transparent with you. I want you to be honest and transparent with me. And then let's just see where this thing goes. I'm not going out like, hey, this could be my wife. I'm not getting dressed thinking that. I'm getting dressed like, yo, I was attracted to that sister when I met her.
Yeah.
The energy was good when we exchanged numbers. The couple conversations we've had have been delightful. I'm looking forward to spending time with her, and I'm hoping that this energy is good tonight. That's why I'm going into it. Is she gonna be my wife? That's not even crossing my mind, to be honest with you. It's just not crossing my mind. I just want good energy. I just want good energy that's pure, that's authentic, that is free flowing, that is not difficult, that isn't blocked by a whole bunch of BS. Like, just let that energy flow and see. And then we'll both know, you know, should we hang out again? Should we hang out a second time, a 10th time, a 20th time? You know, and just let it go. And then we'll know. We'll know. But I'm not going into it looking for that. Nah.
Okay. Well, I think the question was more geared toward purpose and intent. Like, are you in the market for that? But I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely in the market for seriousness. Like, I'm not here for no games. I've had my fair share of sex and probably somebody else's too. So no, that's not what my interest is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely into it for genuine connections. Like, I want a genuine connection. Can we enjoy each other?
Herb, I know somebody for you right now. She's 41. She had 4 kids. Bullshit. She's 41 with 4 kids.
I knew it. and I wouldn't disqualify her just off of that, you know, being 41 and 4 kids. Like I said, I'm in my mid-30s. I tend to gravitate towards older women. I always have, just even since I was a kid. I've always been just attracted to older women, and so the women that are in my life now are older women. And the kids in and of itself wouldn't, you know, turn me off. But I am, like, when I talk about like not judging people and not being a harsh critic of people in certain ways, children is not that thing. Like, I am a harsh critic of how you are with your children. You know what I mean? How you parent, that matters to me. And so as a person who is now single and have been around women who have children and have seen them interact with their children, I'm like, yeah, nah, this ain't gonna work with me and you just because of how I see you interact with your children. Like, I don't care how, like, that is something that I will absolutely judge you on. I won't disqualify her just because she has 4 children, but how she is with those children will greatly impact what I think about her, for sure.
Herb, you're more flexible than most men. and I'm not even saying that that's a bad thing. I think that's admirable, at least on some level, for sure. But you're more flexible than most men, for sure. You know, but I've always had, man, shoot, even when I was in the military, I've known brothers that have married women that had 2, 3, and 4 children. So, you know, it just is what it is. I lied. I saw this one last question, man, that I think is pretty important.
I'm enjoying this. We good. Like, I'm good.
the brother too asked this question, man. He said, because we were asking about women taking criticism. So his question is, do you think men take criticism well from women? Do you think men take criticism well from women? Kevin, I know you got to go, so you can hit that one first. Go ahead.
Okay. Depends what man.
If she said, man, your hair getting thin, look like you done had an old busted Jerry curl, and you know. But if you said it in a nice way, right? I mean, like
that's so blow. This lady told me I like TD Jakes. I'm like, damn. But no, it depends, man. Sometimes, you know, like from my experience, there's been women, professional women. It could be doctors, dentists, even psychiatrists. You know, a lot of times they're used to being the smartest one in their relationships. So a lot of times it become a competition. And sometimes the criticism is the way to reassure their dominance over you, even if it's not even factual, or even if it's a topic they don't even know of. So, a lot of times, you know, um, for me, if it's criticism that can make me a better person, I'll take it. But if it's something that is to boost your own ego or establish your dominance, then we have a problem.
Okay, so I'm not sure I got the answer that I was looking for. Are you saying that we handle criticism from women better than they handle criticism from us?
Of course, yes.
Okay, Herb, back to you. What do you think?
Well, I had an answer, but I want to throw this little caveat in because of Brother Kevin's response. I think that if you're talking about a woman that you're sure of in terms of the energy is good, I really want to explore this thing further, then I think that brothers, because I understand what he's saying in terms of like criticism that's based off this superficial, surface level, goofy stuff, and nobody's gonna receive that well. But I think just to answer your question, I think that brothers don't really receive critiques from women any better than women receive it from men. I can just draw my own personal experience, having been married for a long time and divorced. I think that as I kind of just look back over that, I never really received that constructive criticism from my ex-wife very well. I never did, for whatever reason. It was pride, or I thought I knew what I was doing, or I got this thing, I got that thing. Just never really received it very well. Now I'm in a space to where I am better able to appreciate the gifts that my partner brings, and better able to appreciate the perspective that my partner has, to say, hey, these are my gifts, these are my strengths, this is what I can bring to this partnership, and this and understanding where I'm weak in this partnership, or my weaknesses are as an individual, even like, yeah, okay, now I can see that a little bit better. Whereas before, I wasn't able to see that. Even if I knew it was something that I was kind of weak at, I wouldn't necessarily allow her to use her strengths in that way. And so I think that men are no better at receiving, that kind of constructive criticism than men are. I think that we both should, because I think it's about this balance and utilizing strengths and weaknesses to create a whole. And so I think that it would behoove both parties to, receive those critiques well, and receive them with love, and receive them with pure and honest intentions, and not receive them with any kind of disrespect or demeaning value. Well, but certainly I was guilty of that for a long time. I think I'm in a better place now to where I can understand those critiques a little bit better. So yeah, I think men are no better at it than women. I think we both need to be better at it.
Yeah, I tell you what, I definitely agree that we regardless of who's better, is definitely one of those necessary. I don't want to call it an evil. I think it's necessary for the growth of the relationship, and necessary for us to build. Man, we have to be able to receive one another's constructive criticisms. And just anyway, I know I can ramble on, but I want to thank y'all so much, man. I know Brother Kevin got to get out of here, but I appreciate y'all for joining me on this platform, man. I had fun, man. I think we had a good conversation. Any closing thoughts, Kevin? I know you got to run, so you go first if you got anything you want to say before you run, how they can reach you or whatever.
This relationships in general, man. Some people make it more complex than it have to be. It's real simple, but sometimes the most simple things can be the most complex. And the main key thing is just effective communication, and being humble and trying to be understanding, where your partner's coming from. Everybody have different experiences. Everybody have different strengths they bring to the table, to the relationship. If you can learn to respect that and appreciate a person for who they are, and not trying to change them to the person that you want to be, but appreciate them, then, we can solve a lot of things. But, if you have a lot of problems, I don't care if you're man or a woman, always look at yourself first, work on yourself, if more than one person in your relationships, past relationships, say you're an asshole, maybe you're an asshole. Maybe you need to change the way you communicate. If you was attractive back in 2001 and you're not getting the same pull, maybe I need to, work on myself. Maybe I need to go in the weight room or something like that. Maybe it's just you, a lot of times if you're not getting the results that you want. So, work on yourself, work on your health, work on your mind, your body, your spirit. Make sure that you're a good partner for the person that you try to reach out to. And I think if you do that, your results will probably be in your favor that you're looking for.
My man, good word, good word. Herb, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, first of all, just thanks for having me, man. I've enjoyed the conversation. It's been very, very good for me individually to build with brothers and hear their thoughts and perspectives and have this conversation. So thanks again for having me. Truly, truly appreciate all the thoughtful insight that you brought to my show on Friday. That was super, super dope. So thank you for that. But in terms of relationships, man, I think that it's important for all of us to kind of create them for ourselves and not have your relationship impacted by outside influences, about what society says it should be, what society says it should look like. Explore what works for you. Explore different love styles, even outside of monogamy. Even I know that's a different conversation that a lot of people don't want to have, but I think that's a very, very real thing that we should at least explore. When you look at how relationships are working in this Western society, statistically, they aren't working too well. And so perhaps we should at least explore some other way. But I think that just create it for yourself. But first and foremost, be honest with yourself. I think a lot of times we talk about lying to our partners. The very first person we lie to is ourselves. And I think that you can be honest with yourself, then you have a chance of being honest with your partner and building something that is sustainable, that can work for you, that can work for your partners. And so I would just encourage everybody to be honest with themselves. Take some time to get to know who you are, know what you want, and then go out and be authentic. And then if you be authentic, the universe will just kind of naturally bring those people to you. The people that you desire will kind of naturally come to you, and then you remain authentic, remain transparent. I think those things will work out for you, man. I think that this getting this relationship component is critically important to our fight for Black liberation. It is critically important. And it's as divided now as it has ever been. And we got a lot of work to do to try to get that thing back in lockstep, to be a strong union. So, it's really, really important, but I think it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of honesty, and a lot of vulnerability and transparency and some discomfort in many ways. But I think we got to be willing to do that work, because the end goal has to be more important than whatever individual superficial things that are causing us to behave in ways that are not healthy and productive for us as a collective.
Yeah, I agree completely. Hey, family, if you haven't already, if you're not familiar with the Urban 2, I Said What I Said, the show right here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and plug, bro. Plug that.
Yeah, please follow our show. The show is called I Said What I Said. My name is Herb. My co-host, his name is Tu. He's been in the comments this evening with a part of the conversation. We have our show Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Facebook and YouTube from 1 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We would love to have y'all be a part of it. It is a conversation about Black liberation from an unapologetically masculine perspective. And we would love to have you be a part of it. And we think it's an important conversation. We talk about relationships, we talk about economics, we talk about everything. But again, this relationship piece is foundational. So please, if you want to be a part of it, just follow us on Facebook. Again, the page is called I Said What I Said, Herb and Tu, and we would love to have you be a part of that. So yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, brother Vaughn, for sure.
Yes, sir.
I want to appreciate you, Vaughn, having me on. It was an honor, brother Howard. Speaking to you. Till we meet again.
Respect, King.
All right, yes, brothers, y'all be well, man. Good night.
Indeed, you too.
Family, do me a favor, if y'all still in the room, share this video. I think we had a real good conversation, man. I think a lot of people could benefit from the ideas that were shared here tonight. So share this video. Don't forget to hit that love button, hit that heart button, or even if you just like it, hit that thumbs up button. And that's it, man. That's all we got for y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all taking time to kick it with me tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and for that, I'm eternally thankful. Love y'all, fam. Peace. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all.